Can you turn the phone? See the little thing that says view horizontally? Try that one.
Oh my gosh.
I love this show.
I
Are we good? Is it just a little bitty?
just go.
All right, guys. Hi, welcome to the Bourbon Basement. I am Steve. We are live on location at Fort St. Joe. I've been pre-gaming. No, got a little mixed up with the phones and everything. The studio is not here, of course. Was working. We've never done it on a phone before, so this is going to be kind of funny to see on the phone. I hope it's working. It looks weird, I guess, on your TVs and everything. And it won't go the other way. What's it do? We'll flip it and see what it looks like on your phone. And then up at the top, there should be a thing that you can click on that says video horizontal. It's a little picture like by the camera, but it looks like a phone or a game kind of. Okay, so we may be having a lot of issues, and that's fine. Look what it did. It did it sideways on the screen. All right, guys. Anyway, that's the Bourbon Basement. That's how it goes, right? We've never videoed from a phone before. It may not even save this episode. We don't know, and it may be best if it doesn't. But I suggest you all, whoever's watching right now, go ahead and pour yourself a drink, a Rabbit Hole or Woodford. It's a longer story, but we'll get into that. Those are the bourbons that we're going to be trying today. So go ahead and pour you a drink, and I'll be your drinking buddy for a little while. And we can talk some bourbon. You can comment. My producer should be able to read the comments, and I can respond in that way if everything goes correctly. I'm wanting to look for that button. Can I look for that button? Don't show the producer, she says. Sorry, guys. It's a weird one. There's the flip. Okay, it ain't on there anymore. Uh-oh. All right, it's just going to have to be that way. All right, everybody, it's just going to have to be that way. I'm sorry about the way it goes. But anyway, so we're on vacation here, so I'd like to thank our producer for giving us a little bit of time on our vacation to do a show. She knows how much I love to talk to you guys and to talk about bourbon and just do it. So she was like, yeah, I'm game for it. But we had to do it on a phone because we had no idea how this works. Ryan couldn't help me in any way, so here we are. And so why Port St. Joe? I mean, look at this. Can y'all see the scenery behind me at all? It's fantastic, guys. There's no boats, there's no parasailing, there's no scuba diving or snorkeling, there's no jet skis, there's not a whole lot of people on this beach. It's basically a private beach right now, this time of year. It's 70 degrees. We're sitting here just listening to the waves crash on the beach. I mean, what can be more relaxing and better than that, except, learning how to do a YouTube video. With the phone, anyway. All right. So,
Vappy Wampinkle.
He
said the sounds of bourbon and one of the best places on earth.
It is pretty awesome. I've enjoyed this view. Pretty much sitting where our producer's sitting right now, looking that way, and just sitting back and sipping some bourbon. I haven't made too big of a dent in these bottles, but I've enjoyed them as the nights have went on. We've had beautiful weather, a lot better than back home. I'll tell you about a couple of the favorite spots, and then I'll quit talking about Port St. Joe. So the Brick Wall, we've been there a couple times to eat. Went there a couple times last time. The Brick Wall has some really good food. They have a bar there as well. Then Cuatro Locos, that's a Mexican place around here, Mexican food. It is delicious, and we really like that. As far as the bars go, guys, I like the one in Apalachicola the best. It's called Bell's, and it's kind of just a little hole in the wall. It's kind of out of the way a little bit, but I kind of liked it. They got live music and stuff like that going on, and good food as well. But that one's a Bell's. If I had to pick one here in Port St. Joe, if you saw my short from earlier, With the double, it would have to be Joe Mama's. It's a small little bar. It's really an Italian pizza place, but they got a small bar in there. And I asked them for a double. Man, she really poured that thing. So it was a rocks glass, and it was almost full. So get what you pay for there. Either that, or they were trying to get rid of the larceny. I don't know, but it was really good. But as far as bourbon hunting goes, guys, there's probably 4 bars in this whole area, without going all the way to Panama City, I guess. And that's about a 45-minute drive. There's only about 4 bars in this area. 2 of those bars are 4 liquor stores in this area, but 2 of those liquor stores are bars that sell bottles, and the other 2 are actually liquor stores. So bourbon hunting, when we got here, there was really nothing. One store did have a couple Blantons and a couple E.H. Taylor small batches, which was better than I found last time. But I told our producer we need to go back later in the week and see if anything else drops. Well, evidently we went back today at just the right time, because about 5 minutes before we walked into the store, he just had a delivery. And of course, I went back over there and I looked at his allocated stuff where he still had the Blantons, he still had the E.H. Taylor small batch. He did have a 1924 this time, the Old Forester 1924, but I've got a couple of those, so I wasn't really interested in that. And he was just talking to me, and that's the thing when you're bourbon hunting, guys, you get to talking to people, and he said, hey, I've got a bottle of Willet back here. And I said, yeah, I've got a lot of the Willet stuff, and I just thought he probably had a pot still or something like that. So he come out, and he come out with this one, if I can get it. All right, so it's the Willet Purple Top. He said this is the 6-shooter reserve. I don't know why it's called that. I haven't got to do a lot of research on this bottle yet. But it's a Willet Purple Top. Now, I had a Purple Top, did an episode on it back in December, right? It was really good. It did good in our tasting and everything else. But that was the Willet Purple Top for your small batch. This is the Willet Purple Top 6-year single barrel. It's from the Willet Estates. It is 120.8 proof, and this is bottle 3 of 207. So he had that there. So the single barrel Purple Top really intrigued me, and it was about $150. So I went ahead and I said, I'm going to take that. And he took it up to the register to ring me up, and I said, well, just hold it here. I'm going to go look for some more stuff. So I went around. Yeah, you got a comment?
Yep. Peter White said, cheers, everybody.
Cheers, Peter.
And Gene Mark, cheers, happy Friday.
Cheers, everybody, happy Friday. I'm usually real excited about Fridays for the show and everything else, but this Friday I'm not as excited because it means my vacation's almost over and I got to go back home.
We had a hey, 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 cheers, and we had a Bourbon Basement Beach Edition. This is the best.
All right. This is the best atmosphere I think that we've had. But if it had about 350 to 400 bottles of bourbon sitting around me, I think it might be better than the Bourbon Basement. But really, the Bourbon Basement is still better. All right, guys. So this is the first bottle that I found. It's about $150. I don't know if I got a good deal on that or not, because I didn't do any research on that bottle. But I know I haven't had the Purple Top single barrel. So if anybody wants to look that up and see what it's worth, let me know and tell me if I got a good deal or not. But the other one I got, guys, this is another special bottle. This one's starting to come out around home, but I haven't seen it there yet. I actually got it on the website. So last year when I was down here, I actually found this bottle on the website, paid for it online, and Ryan went and picked it up at Total Wine. But this year, I found it here. So it's the Woodford Double Oak. This is their 26 Double Oak. And he had it here, and it was the same price as it is back home. So I said, hey, I'll take that one too. And then I was going to get this one and not this one, but the producer said, hey, you're on vacation. Just get them both. So I did. But anyway, so I got the Double Oak Woodford, the single barrel Willet. 2 great finds here in Florida where I haven't had any luck bourbon hunting. And to be honest, I bet you in all 4 of those shops, liquor stores that sell bourbon, I've probably got more bourbon in the Bourbon Basement than all of them combined. and definitely a better selection. So it isn't a lot, and this is pretty rare finds here. Although I did see a Kentucky Owl confiscated on a shelf up here, but it had pretty high price on it, so I let it go.
We had Bourbon Beach, no spaces.
Bourbon Beach, no spaces. I like that one. So that's what I found. I thought that was pretty good. But we're not doing those today. So what are we doing today? Well, of course, it's a vacation week, so I didn't deep dive into history. So it was a good thing I brought these 2 bottles from home. So what I brought from home was Rabbit Hole Velarde, which is a limited edition, and then I brought home a store pick Woodford Reserve, which also is pretty limited. And I'll tell you, I brought those because I already did shows on these guys. So I've already done a history on Woodford. I've already done a history on Rabbit Hole. You got another one?
We've got one that says the Bourbon Basement is the best bar in most states. Invite only, of course.
That's right.
And then Peter White says, online says Willet 6, MSRP is $200.
$200. All right, so I got a good deal. I got it for $150, so that's awesome.
And have we had Foolproof Hunter on here before?
Foolproof
Hunter.
Hunter? Oh, I don't know. A new guy?
Mm-hmm. Says
Right.
cheers all.
All right, cheers, Foolproof Hunter. All right, so I've done some history on these. Y'all can go back in our episodes, and if you want more history on Woodford.
He chimed in and said new guy.
New guy. All right, new guy. Well, we hope you come back. We love all our new guys. We hope you like and subscribe, and join us in some more comments and some more lives. It'll be awesome. Just talking bourbon and drinking together, being drinking buddies. Usually my son's on here with me. If you haven't went back and watched any of the other episodes, maybe try Rabbit Hole or Woodford and get a little history in there too. This is a vacation episode, so it's a little bit different, a little bit special episode. Kind of like these bottles are special releases. This is a special release, Bourbon Basement. But I've done a history on these distilleries, so what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to give a little bit about maybe what makes these distilleries stand out from some other distilleries, right? And we'll start with Woodford Reserve. So Woodford Reserve is there in Versailles, Kentucky. They've been distilling on that property since 1812. They are registered as a National Historic Landmark. And their buildings there's a couple of buildings there that are also registered on that landmark list. Of course, way back when, it wasn't Woodford Reserve. That didn't happen until later when Brown-Forman bought this place from Labrook and Graham, I think, is who they bought it from, and that was in the 40s. Then they closed it down for probably 30, 40 years, I guess. It was 50 years, because it was the 90s when they opened it back up. It was still Labrook and Graham when they opened it back up, and then they changed the name to Woodford Reserve. But the funny thing about it is they bought it, closed it down, sold it to a farmer who run cattle on this land for years. And then they bought it back from that guy's family to open the distillery back up. And they have some, if you go on the Bourbon Trail or go to Kentucky to do these bourbon distillery tours, Woodford Reserve is probably the one I would recommend the most. It's got all that history with the modern because they got some brand new buildings. Every time we go back, there's something new there, but the way they build it and make it mesh with that history, it's fantastic. It doesn't jump out like, oh, well, that's new. You know, they don't make it look old. They just incorporate it in, and it's such a beautiful place. And the drive back there, driving through all the horse farmlands and everything to get back there to it is wonderful. And then just being around the history with those limestone warehouses that they have, and all, it's just a beautiful place. They do a good job, and it's got a great taste. So what we're going to do here is just talk about 5 elements that make Woodford kind of stand out from the others. And the first one I'm going to talk about is just the limestone filtered water. That's what they use to put in their fermentation. That's what they use to proof down their bourbon. It's all limestone filtered water. They focus where a bunch of other distilleries focus on many grain recipes, many mash bills to do different things. Woodford is mostly one recipe, and that's going to be 72 corn, 18 rye, and 10 malted barley, okay? They use that for their main things, the Woodford Reserve, the Woodford Double Oak, and the Double Oak. That's all the same, just barreled differently and rebarreled and rebarreled. And that's all that is. But they do them to perfection, and the way they do it is pretty good. They have an extra long fermentation time that's 6 to 7 days. That's about twice as long as any other distillery does it. And I don't know if it has anything to do with these 8 7,500 gallon cypress wood fermentation tanks, okay? That may have something with it. It may go slower in there fermentating in these cypress wood fermentation tanks. Now, that cypress wood is not supposed to add any flavor or anything, but if you've never had Woodford, when you taste it, you're going to taste what bourbon's about. Bourbon, to me, if you have a bourbon that doesn't have that barrel flavor in it, is it really even a bourbon? How can you have one that doesn't have that? Woodford Reserve, you're going to taste the barrel. So if you like an oaky one, you're going to like it no matter what. If you don't, you may not. But it, to me, is what bourbon should taste like. And it's actually what got me started with collecting bourbon and doing shows on bourbon and all this stuff. So I do love the Woodford. They got 3 pot stills, and they triple distill their bourbon in pot stills. A lot of other places will use pot and column combinations. Not many, except maybe some of the crafts use pot stills anymore. And their barrels are custom toasted and then charred. They used to make, Brown-Forman used to make their barrels there on site. I'm not sure if they still do that at Woodford or not. They may have closed that part of it down, but they used to do that on site, and then they could control every aspect of their barrel. Again, the historic warehouses that I talked about, they're all limestone and everything else. They are heated and cooled regularly throughout the year, so they have a system that does that, and that helps with the aging process. They like to heat it up and cool it down to let all that liquid get up into that barrel and then come out. I can use my hands today because it won't zoom in or out, will it, babe? All right. Or will it produce? So I can use my hands today. All right, so that's a little bit about what makes Woodford special, Woodford Reserve Distillery special. Let's talk about this bottle. What makes it special? So if you love Woodford like I do, you know that Woodford Reserve comes out at 90.4 proof, right? Well, this one here is 110 proof. And on the bottle here, you probably can't see it real good, but it says personal selection, proprietary batch, and then it gives the master distiller over here 110 proof. This is your regular Woodford Reserve. It's not a double oak or anything like that. It's a regular Woodford Reserve, 110 proof. This is a Jackson's Wine and Spirit there in Lexington, Kentucky. It's their store pick. And what they do is they get with that master distiller, the master distiller there at Woodford, they put together barrels that they want to bring together for 110 proof. And these are only available as store picks. So you will never go to a store and pick up a bottle of Woodford Reserve at 110 proof unless it's a store pick or a limited edition special release from Woodford Reserve itself. That's the only 2 ways you can get this. So what we're going to do now, before we get into rabbit hole, we're going to pour some Woodford. I don't know if you can hear the cork pop on that microphone. I don't even know if you guys can hear me because the wind and the waves. It's pretty fantastic here. I'll pour my producer glass. There you go, produce. All right, so Jackson's, if you're in the Lexington area, I've been doing a lot of business there at Jackson's. I like that guy a lot. He's very knowledgeable about his bourbon. This is his store pick, and they have several store picks. They probably have almost as much store picks as they do regular bourbon. I got a comment?
Cool Running says Jack Old number 7 and Jim Beam 8 year was his first bourbon, going back a whole lot of years, LOL.
Yeah. So if you didn't hear that, Cool Running says that the 8-year Jack and
number 7 and
Jim Beam
number 8. 8
number
year.
8. Well, that was you got me confused now. That was his first bourbon, yes. Guys. Maybe you saw the comment. Anyway, hopefully you heard her the first time and it didn't matter.
And then we had sounds great, and heard the cork pop.
Awesome.
And I can hear you. The Brad's vacuum cleaner is louder than the waves, though.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, guys. This one here, I thought the wind out here might take away the smell, might just drag it out of this glass, but it's when you put your nose to it, it's got such a fruity, good smell that comes out. You can smell that barrel. It's got that sweetness in there. It smells kind of like, well, it's just the fruitiness. I can't pick out the fruit that's in there, but that caramel, vanilla, oaky barrel, but super, super good. You know what I forgot? My water. I may have to run in there and get a water. Isn't that going to be awkward? I need water. All right, guys. You all know the drill here. I don't ever talk about one after the first taste. I always take two shots, 2 drinks, and then give you an opinion after on that third one. So, sorry, this is probably a little awkward. Let's enjoy the waves for a minute. Maybe y'all can pretend you're here with me on the beach. Man, that's good. And if you all like Woodford, and it's the 90.4, and even the double oak here is 90.4 that I just found. That's their standard, right? To knock that up to 110 and put it in there, it's fantastic. This particular one, this is a batch. I don't know, they don't say how big the batches are or anything like that for these, but this is a batch. A lot of times when they do 110 proof, they only do single barrels. This one is batch, and it's just so smooth at 110 and so good. I'll take my one more.
Cool Running said the Jim Beam Black Label 8-year was better than the Jack.
Cool Runnings, I would agree with you, but I don't drink a lot of Jack. But I'm just saying that because Jim Beam's a Kentucky bourbon. And you know I do Kentucky bourbons here on the Bourbon Basement. And I don't mess with that Tennessee whiskey stuff. But anyway, I hear a lot of good things about the Jack Daniels, especially the new stuff they're coming out with. But if I'm going to spend my money, I'll just do something I can do a show on. But thank you for that, because I do like to hear that. Man. So the first thing that jumps out to you, you get that caramely goodness that first hits you. I don't really taste the vanilla in there, but I get so much caramel. It just kind of jumps out, and then that fruity sweetness kind of goes away. It isn't real fruity sweet. It's mostly just like caramel and dark chocolate, and it's delicious. But then you get that almost like a campfire taste, just like I don't know. It's I can't describe it, but it's the way a campfire would smell. Maybe roasted marshmallow in there. This to me is very good. I didn't know I was going to enjoy the store pick that much. And if you was to get a regular bottle of this, it's probably around $45. This was $60 as a store pick. And I thought, oh man, I'm paying $15 just because this guy, who I don't know if he knows what he's doing or not, picked this for his store, you know. And I mean, you don't know that his palate's any good. You don't know what kind of flavor he likes. But he did an excellent job with this one. It was great. The thing with this, and the thing with that Jackson store, if it's a store pick, he will let you sample it before you buy it. So you can't just go in there and sample other bottles that he has, you know, but you can sample his store picks. He will let you sample those before you buy them. You may have to hand me the phone. Will you hand me the phone and just let me hold it or something while you go and get a water? Because I got to rinse out my glass and everything. Hey guys, you ready for a super close-up? I think I might have got a little sunburn here. I don't know. Am I on me? Am I real close? I got to get my water because I only brought one Bourbon Basement glass. And with the one Bourbon Basement glass, I can't pour the rabbit hole in there and try it too. Again, when I first opened that here on the trip, I brought these unopened on the trip. And when I first opened it, I didn't know what to expect. But if you have a chance to get a store pick of this where it's at that 110 proof or one of those special releases, I do recommend you trying to find that and get it. Thank you, producer. I do recommend you trying to find that to get it. And I'm glad you are back away a little bit. I know that was probably an ugly scene. But it's well worth it. I gave you a couple smells. I gave you some taste on it. And now let's rate this one. So it's good. It's really good. What did you think of it?
I thought it was excellent.
Excellent. And
Yes.
is that all you gotta say? Is excellent.
I do taste the fruitiness, like you said.
Fruity.
Mm-hmm. I can't tell if it's cherry or banana-y. It's kind of like bananas.
I was stuck with cherry or plum.
Okay, but yeah, it's awesome.
But the dark chocolate caramel and dark chocolate really stood out. Then with that kind of fireness and a roasted marshmallow.
Yeah.
But guys, I'm giving it an 8.5.
I'm with you.
I'm giving this an 8.5, and I would love to see right now. And I don't know what it is. I wish I was at home. Because I got a double. I got a double oak single barrel at home, so it's a special release. I'm hoping it's 110 proof, so I can taste that double oak like that. I don't know what it is, guys, but I'll see when I get home. But or back to the basement. But this one here is 110 proof, well worth it. And maybe one day they'll bring that out at 110 proof. Who knows? I hope they do. I'm gonna give it an 8.5. I wish my shelves were over there with my empties, so I knew where it kind of stood to see how high it could go. Because 8.5 might. I think that's right. I think 8.5 is right. All right, so we're giving it an 8.5. All right, now we'll go back to. Is Ryan even watching this? Have you seen anything about him on there? He's probably still working. All right, guys, but I'm gonna go throwback to Ryan. He watches whiskey tasting, and he pours whiskey in his glass, and then he says how you do it, and he puts his nose in it, and that's how you smell it. And then he says, then you swirl it around, and then you throw it away. You throw it away. I got to do that here. I can't do that in the basement.
Cool Running said, I've had the reserve, wheat and rye, all easy sippers.
All right, nice. This one here for 110 proof was very smooth. Really enjoyed it. All right, so since I didn't go history, and I brought 2 bourbons to the beach, and I opened 2 bourbons at the beach, I wanted to talk about 2 bourbons at the beach today. So we're done with Woodford. We're going to go to Rabbit Hole. Okay, has it been 30? All right, so we're going to talk about Rabbit Hole. This one won't take very long. Now, Rabbit Hole Distillery completely different than Woodford Reserve, right? We did an episode on it. You can go back and watch a lot of history on it. But Rabbit Hole Distillery didn't open until 2018. So it's very modern. It's right there in Louisville, about 2 to 3 blocks away from Whiskey Row in the Nulu district right there. But it's very modernized. And what they like to do is they like to focus on unique mash bills. So what they'll do is they'll take like one of theirs, I can't remember which one it is, but they do like Cave Hill Gold, I think, and then Derringer.
Oh, Peter White says, having one of my favorite pours, Trails in 10-year, 105 proof. The second barrel finish is Garyana.
Oh, really? I've never had that one, Peter. But I'm glad you can enjoy one of your favorite pours while watching us here on the Bourbon Basement. But they focus on unique mash bills. One of the things that they use is a honey malted barley in one of their recipes. They do malted wheat, which you don't hear a whole lot about in some of the recipes. They do a lot of things with 4 grains as well. But sometimes some of their releases, up to 30% of the grain is that specialty kind of grain. It's a specialty kind of grain, one that's not usually used in bourbons. This one here, guys, this is the Velarde. It is the limited edition. You can only get this one at the distillery. or you might find it on the auction or something. And I'm just going to say right now, since I've been drinking it, is my favorite Rabbit Hole product that I've had. I've had their normal stuff, a couple of special releases. This is my favorite one. Now the Velarde, that's a Spanish word, kind of means meadow or guardian. But it takes you to what it's finished in, and it's finished in Oloroso, Oloroso. I call it Oloroso cask. And if you look that up, that's a Spanish sherry. So they do have a Derringer is also finished in a sherry cask. You got one?
No, you're shaking the table.
I'm shaking the table. Okay. I'm always doing something, guys. Producer don't like it. But anyway. Well, it's true, right?
Well,
it's true. I'm moving my hands or I'm shaking the table.
You can see the liquid shaking in it.
You can. Maybe it's the wind here at the
okay.
or at the beach.
Okay.
Okay. But anyway, so this is a Oloroso sherry cask. The Derringer is also finished in a sherry cask. I'll tell you a little bit about the difference in those in a minute. But this bourbon limited edition, it's cask strength. This one happens to be 110.9. I think last year's was 105.6 or something, because when I looked up information about this bourbon, just trying to find something to talk about today, it kept saying 105. So I'm guessing that was a pre-release, maybe last year's, maybe their first release. This is the second release. It's up to 110. But what they do that's a little bit different is they barrel, their bourbon goes into the barrel at 110 proof. Every bourbon they do goes into the barrel at 110 proof, unless they specify that, and that will be some kind of limited edition. But this one went in at 110. It come out at 110.9, so it proofed up in the barrel, which is sometimes typical. There's special grain in this one. They use the red winter wheat, okay? So that's a little bit different. Now, I told you about the Derringer. What makes this one different than Derringer? Because I probably paid, for this $375, I probably paid as much as a Derringer goes for the $750. But what's different about it? Of course, this one's limited, so I guess it has collectability if you collect bourbon for that. But the Derringer is in a PX sherry cask, which I don't know what that is.
Peter says, I have the Refular, Rabbit Hole, and the Derringer both getting pretty low. And then he said the Derringer is PX Sherry.
PX Sherry for the Derringer, so Peter knew. But that PX Sherry is supposed to give a sweet, kind of syrupy note. This Oloroso Sherry is supposed to be kind of dry and nutty. And then the proof is different, because the Derringer is 93 proof, where this, of course, is the red 110.9. And then this one's made with red winter wheat, where the Derringer's made with wheat, maybe malted wheat. I don't know, because that's one of the things that they didn't do. So we're going to do a quick tasting and review on this one.
Peter said that the PX is sweeter than the Oloroso, for
PX
sure.
The PX is sweeter, yes. And they say it's supposed to be that way, so they're pretty dead on their things here. All right, I wonder if you can hear this one. Oh! You want a taste of this one, Produce? No?
It's too hard to drink and hold the phone.
Too hard to drink and hold the phone. Yeah, my producer is not only my producer, not only my co-partner with the reading of the comments, but she's also my camera stand. And if we get a phone call right now and it stops recording everything, who knows what's going to happen here on the Bourbon Basement tonight. All right, guys, let's see. Okay, yeah. You can kind of smell the nuttiness in this one. I get kind of almondy. What you got?
Bourbon Neophyte said, cheers to all you magnificent whiskey people. And the Oloroso can be a little nutty.
Yeah, and I get, right now I'm smelling like almonds. I'm smelling almonds, but I'm smelling caramel and vanilla. It's got a really good smell. Actually, the Woodford smelled a little sweeter to me. This one's kind of a more savory smell, not as sweet on the nose. But there's some cherry in there too, I think. It's a good smell. I could pour this one on me and wear it as a cologne. I mean, it's not real sweet and, girly. It's a manly smell, a manly bourbon smell, and I like that. this is the awkward pauses, guys. But I can't talk and drink at the same time. This is the one where Ryan would be talking. And I don't really need to acclimation taste on this because I already had the other one, but I still, it's weird that they're kind of the same proof, 110 and 110.9. That's a good bourbon. Yeah, this is definitely my favorite rabbit hole that I've had right now.
Bourbon Neophyte said manly bourbon smell. That's new.
I'm not a professional, so I don't know all those professional terms. Yeah, this is, but I do know good bourbon. I do know good bourbon, and this is a good bourbon. So for the taste and stuff that go in there, I was smelling kind of cherries, but the fruit taste that jumps out at me is plums. I'm getting that plum. So it's still a red fruit. I was off on the smell. I get the caramel and I get the vanilla, but it's not pecan, or I said almonds, and it's not pecans either. It's more of a walnut taste. You know, when I'm drinking that, I can picture myself in at Christmas time with that little nutcracker cracking open those walnuts and digging that thing out of there and eating that. I got a lot of that walnut nutty taste in there. It's really good though. Now, the thing that gets you at the end, and what kind of still gets me, and I like this, a lot of people don't, I have that lingering smokiness with this one. So I get a lot of extra smoke in here. So plums, caramel, walnuts, plenty of that smoke. As far as the barrel, I get the dryness from the barrel, but I don't get a lot of oaky barrel taste. And it's re-barreled, so it's got 2 barrels in it. They don't say how long it was re-barreled for. A lot of times it's probably, 3 months. It may not even be that long. They don't give an age statement or anything on that one either. But it's a super good bourbon.
Bourbon Neophyte said taste is subjective. You like Woodford, and he said he's not a fan.
Oh, really?
That's what he
said.
Give
it another shot. Give it another shot.
And then Peter said Doc Swenson's also have an endless supply of finished bourbon and rye, all really good.
Oh, really? Doc Swenson's? I've seen a bunch of Doc Swenson's around. Yeah, Bourbon Neophyte, give it another try. Maybe call me up or email me or something. We'll try it together. And are you not a big oak fan? Are you not a big barrel fan? Because Woodford is one of the oakiest bourbons that I've ever had. And I mean, their bourbons are only 6 to 8 years old on most of their releases. And I think if they left them in there longer than that, they would probably be super oaky. They probably taste like a 20-year, I don't know. But they do have a lot of oakiness. They must use a Char 4. But both of these, if you all didn't notice when I was talking about these, and maybe I didn't even say it, but Rabbit Hole also toasts their barrels first, and then they char them. So both of these bourbons toast their barrels. They said that brings out kind of that sugary sweetness, and then they char it right after that. So it gets a light toasting just to bring those, I can see like the syrups coming out of the wood, and then they char it in that char, and then that's when they put their bourbons in. Neither one of them say what they use. Both of these are very dark bourbons. I bet they use Char 4. I bet Woodford does anyway. I can probably find that out eventually. But all right, guys, I'm gonna get about to wrap this up. So I gave you some flavors. I gave you some taste and some smells on the Rabbit Hole. I'm gonna give you a rating. So I rated this one 8.5. This one's gonna be an easy 8.3. I'm getting ready to sneeze. Sorry about that.
Bourbon Neophyte said Woodford just never was any good to him except for the wheat Woodford.
Oh, the whiskey.
Yeah. And then Peter said if given the choice, I would take Old Forester 110 over Woodford.
Well, it's funny you say that, Peter, because if you watch an episode, we do a blind tasting of some double oaks. And I could have swore that Woodford Double Oak was going to win my blind tasting. And I knew Woodford Double Oak was going to win my blind tasting. I put it up against 4 other bourbons, so there was 5 total. And I just knew that I knew what Woodford Double Oak tasted like, and nothing was going to beat it. Okay? Woodford Double Oak got 3rd. 1910, Old Forester 1910 got 1st. So it did. It's their version of the Double Oak. They don't call it Double Oak, but if you read it, it's all Double Oaked, and they're 1910. It won for me, and I will swear by that now. But I'm going to tell you, if you're not drinking side-by-side comparisons of stuff, these are very, very good bourbons and would probably be really great. Bourbon Neophyte, I'm sorry that you don't like it, because I love it. It's so good. And usually you and I are kind of right on some of these, and so we differ from that one, but that's all right. That's all right. Like you said, taste is subjective. Everybody has a different taste, and I'm gonna tell you, different days that you drink a bourbon, different atmospheres that maybe these are so good because I got this behind me right now, and I've been doing nothing for a week, just sitting here relaxing and listening to this in some warm weather when it's been snowing back home and everything else. I think today was a good day back home. It's like 55 and sunny or something, but it's been snowing back home, and maybe these are better because I'm here. I don't know, but company, different days, things you eat in a day, all that stuff will change your palate and your taste to the bourbon. So if you're trying something new, you know, it may differ. Now, if you get one that you love, like I do this one, then it's going to taste about the same all the time because my brain knows what it's supposed to taste like. You got another comment?
He said, we need to stream together when you get back home. I would love to educate you. Laughy faces.
You're going to have to teach me how to do that. We've commented about that before, and I don't know how, I don't know how to put you on my screen or how to get on yours. So yeah, hit me up and talk.
And Peter said the ocean sound would put me to sleep at night. No problem, LOL.
It's pretty awesome here. We love this place. We've been here a couple of years in a row, and you know, it's one of our favorite places. How many people have you seen walk behind me? There's a few, but there isn't hardly anybody. And I mean, we got 2 dogs. We take them out, don't put them on a leash, and they have a blast too. So it's a vacation for them. But guys, I do thank you all for tuning in. I know this was a weird show. It was kind of awkward. It was a little bit off of what we normally do. We'll be back hopefully next week.
Hope you enjoyed the atmosphere though.
And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the atmosphere. But anyway, thanks for watching. We ask that you like, subscribe if you haven't. Go ahead and tune in next Friday for our next live. We love the comments, so keep commenting. You can give me a hard time too. I got broad shoulders. I can take it. Doesn't matter, guys. We're here to have fun, and like we always want to be your drinking buddy. So just remember, guys, why drink alone when you can drink for us or drink with us?
You've had way too much to drink.
Too many bloopers. Do you know how to cut that thing off? Bye, guys. Cheers.